Okay, our next honoree is Herman Santaella, so all you Rich Road people, get ready in just a moment. 1973 Delano graduate, thought he was not good enough to play tackle or baseball, but until he was encouraged by coaches to go out for the sport his junior year. He started as a JV, but in early season was moved to varsity, pitched in the Delano tournament, which by the way was the last time Delano won the Delano tournament before it was stopped, and then was one of the 3 starters and also relieved over his 2 varsity seasons. So Herman Santaella for baseball.
Good evening, everyone. Just like to congratulate all inductees of this year's Hall of Fame. Ceremonies well done. I would like to say a couple of words about a certain teammate that encouraged me to go off of JV baseball in 1972. This teammate of mine, we pitched against each other in the opening night of Babe Ruth League. It was my first time pitching against other players that were on the freshman team that year. I pitched a no-hitter that night against his team. I did not know him at all since I lived in Rich Grove, and we did not have a Little League or Babe Ruth team. Until that year, we had a sponsor from a Babe Ruth team from Rich Grove, which I played for. After the game, the team shook hands. I was leaving the field to get my ride home when he approached me and asked me why I never came out for JV baseball team. I remember telling him that I thought I was not good enough to make the team, and he told me, yes, you are good enough to make the team, to pitch in the league of the high school. He encouraged me to come out the following year on the JV team. I told him yes, I would come out. We became the best of friends after that. I thank him for seeing the talent I had pitching. He is no longer with us. He passed away at a very young age. His name was Richard Clarks. We missed him. I would like to acknowledge, after this, acknowledge 3 other members who went to Rich Grove School. Jerry De La Rosa, from my grammar school and high school classmate. George Alvarez is not here. I think he was the best basketball player coming out of Rich Grove. And Mario Milan, Delano High School, and Robert F. Kennedy coach. And Mario, I know Darian gave you headaches, I know that. But he did good. We came from a small town, now we are in the Delano High School Hall of Fame. In closing, I would like to thank my family for being here. Randy, his wife Rebecca, Darian, his wife Ada, my sister Rosa is here, and her boyfriend Juan, and friends in attendance. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a safe trip home.
John Beck was a great runner for Delano that I remember in cross country and track, and I sent a letter to Texas where I saw on the Google that he lived there and never got a response. Then, since we had 3 years between dinners, I had plenty of time. I sent him another letter a few months later, never got a response. Then this year I sent him a letter and here came back a response, and so he responded to the thing, but he said he's not in not good health and couldn't travel from Texas. But again, I was surprised by all the things he had accomplished because I didn't keep track of him after Delano. Superb runner in track 4 years, cross country in 1. He won numerous honors. His best marks that could be found were 158.4 and 880, 427.9 for the mile, and 901.1 for the 2 mile. He later ran at Bakersfield College and at Cal State Bakersfield. So I will be sending his plaque back to Texas. Now, a gentleman who is here, but he was hard to find until he finally found me by word of mouth, I think. Well, I don't think we did right. I even sent a letter to the Highway Patrol in Visalia, and I said, if you know how to reach this gentleman, could you tell him to call me at this phone number? But I don't think I got a response from that. I guess the Highway Patrol probably thought I was a nut. Anyway, Willie Jenkins, 1973, relied on to score points in many events, scoring 121 points in meets for Delano in 1973 to lead Delano High. A versatile competitor, he was chosen most valuable underclassman as a junior. His senior year top marks included 21-1 in the long jump, 46-10.5 in the triple jump, 15-2 in the high hurdles, and is a member of the 43 flat 440-yard relay team. Now, those may be wrong, Willie, because I don't think you gave them to me. I think I found them somewhere, and where I found them could be wrong, or maybe I didn't see straight. So here is Willie Jenkins, our track winner.
I heard someone say, that's Gary's brother. Yeah, that's Gary's brother. I want to say good afternoon to everyone, and I want to first thank my Lord and Savior, my God, who's taking care of me, because I heard a lot of you say already that some of your close friends are not here. I'm still in pretty good health here. So I want to thank my Lord and Savior for that. And I want to thank the committee for choosing me, because me, myself, I don't think I'm really justified for being here. But have you ever heard of grace? About the grace of God, I am here. And one of the reasons I say that I don't think I should be here or justified here, I think I could have done better than what I did. Some of the numbers that Gary gave, they're off just a little, but I did a little better than that in some of the events, but that's not a big concern. I especially want to thank my coaches during that time. They did the best they could with the best that they had. After looking back on it, and after going through Bakersfield College, I found out that my coaches didn't know a whole lot. Because if they did knew as much as my coaches there at Bakersfield College, I think I could have been a tremendous athlete when it came to sports. And like I've learned here recently, you don't know what you don't know. One of the reasons I say that I don't think I should be here is that when I had the opportunity on the big stage, like the Delano Kiwanis relays, I was one of the few Tigers that was invited to that. I could tell you a long story on that, but I'm not going to do that. When I was on the big stage, I was the only Delano Tiger that went to the West Coast Relays, which was held at Fresno. I didn't bring home any of the iron, any of the metal. So I felt that I failed in those areas. So with that said, once I left Delano, I went on to Bakersfield College. I co-hold a record at Bakersfield Junior College that will more than likely will never be broken. Thank you. From there, I went on to Cal State Bakersfield. Well, after my sophomore year at Bakersfield College, I said I was going to stay out a year and work. And during that year, I had a cousin come to me and said, hey man, why don't you go with me to Sacramento and go down and take the test for the highway patrol? I said, no man, I'm going back to school next year. I said, well, you got nothing to lose, why don't you just go ahead and go with us? So myself, my cousin, and two of his friends drove to Sacramento, took the test. 3 months later, I get the results. I'm the only one to pass. But then they had a hiring freeze. So I went on back to school. I went to Cal State Bakersfield, and I was in my senior year when I get a call from them that they wanted me to go back to Bright, California, to the academy. I said, well, I died on that list a year ago. That list only lasted a year. I said, well, because of the freeze, they kept the list alive. So I went on to the Highway Patrol. I ran track for them, probably 7 or 8 years, winning probably 19 to 20 gold medals, running against all law enforcement agencies throughout the state of California. I had a couple of silvers and a couple of bronze. And once I left there, I went back to school. I ran companies from the IT department, I ran some small companies, and I ran some large companies as far as their mid-range computers. And about 3 years ago, I came back here to take care of my mom, who passed away. Excuse me. But after she passed, I decided to stay. And here I am. So I just want to thank my coaches, because there's no way I could have made to where I am and the person who I am today without them. And I could probably say that for everyone in this room. Without your coaches, you did not get here alone. Through their help, you are here by their grace. And I want to say thank you to the committee, even though I feel that I didn't do what I should have done to qualify for this honor, but I thank you anyway. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, the next honoree is Ken Watkins, 1972, though the only inductee who we could not locate. His names of the track paper were given to me by Jerry Ancahan, who is the present coach of the Delano track team. And I know he spent like 5 years of spare time at the Delano Record looking through old records and looking through newspapers and checking with agencies in California. And he has the top 10 in every event, boys and girls in school. So if anybody's a track person wants to know where they rest, see Jerry Ancahan. If you don't know him, I put Albino Duran, the athletic director's phone number in there, and you can bug him all the time. Anyway, Ken Watkins made a great improvement from the time he entered school. His early marks were 50 feet, 7.5 in the shot put, went up to 54.2 in 1972. He started off 137 feet, 2 inches in the discus, and then went to 152. So he showed great improvement through school, but we never could find him.